Peterson, and this is Planet-Lennie Weekly, episode number 1. Actually, this is bread, but the show is Planet-Lennie Weekly. This episode, bread music.
And not Bread, the 70s band.
Bread music.
So it turns out Leonardo da Vinci liked to play with his food.
We throw around the word genius a lot these days, but there are only a handful of people in the history of the planet that truly deserve to have their picture next to the word in the dictionary. Most people agree that Leonardo da Vinci is one of them. Those people that disagree would be, well, wrong. Historians aren't exactly sure, but Leonardo probably painted The Last Supper when he was around 45, 46 years old. It was commissioned by the Santa Maria del Grazie, a Dominican monastery in Milan, Italy. A little side note before we continue. Please excuse my Italian pronunciations. My excuse is Massachusetts dude. The mural is about 29 feet long and about 15 feet high, and a person standing next to it is about this big with their dog and cat and goldfish. Sorry, I get carried away. Back then, a mural of the Last Supper was a really common choice for the walls of a dining hall in monasteries and convents.
Why?
The idea was that nuns and monks could have their meals with Jesus on his final day.
Okay.
And Leonardo's Last Supper is the definitive one. There's a ton of symbolism in all of Leonardo's paintings.
A ton.
This one is no exception.
A ton.
Even this light in the window behind Jesus has a purpose. It takes the place of the traditional halo. This broke all the rules. It represents the human side of Jesus before the crucifixion.
But wait, there's more.
Here are some other symbols worth looking at, like the body language of the disciple guides. Way before self-help gurus like Tony Robbins came along, Leonardo believed that posture, gesture, and expression are, quote, the notions of the mind, unquote.
In other words, our body language represents our personality.
The disciples show a wide range of emotions. Like, look at these guys, and these guys, and look at this guy. Oh wait, that's mine. And there are even more conspiracy theories, like, can you say the Da Vinci Code?
The Da Vinci Code.
But all the conspiracy theories aside, there is an amazing theory about the Last Supper that might just hold up. Hey, I just wanted to pop in. Some people are accusing me of, you know how YouTubers are constantly asking you to subscribe and hit the like button? Some people have been kind of accusing me of doing subliminal messages in these videos. I just want to say, I do not do that. I don't do subliminal messaging just for clicks. That would be cheap and easy on my part. But in the meantime, please subscribe and hit the like button. For a long time now, art experts have believed that Da Vinci snuck music into the Last Supper. They just couldn't find it. Super fast forward to the year 2003, an Italian musician and author, Giovanni Maria Palla.
Giovanni Maria Palla?
Giovanni Maria Palla. Giovanni took a close look at the painting after he read an article saying there could be hidden music in there. He said, as a musician, he really wanted to dig deeper.
He even wrote a book about it.
He started by looking at the painting symbols as musical clues. Eventually, he zeroed in on the loaves of bread and their meaning in the Christian religion. The symbolism of bread.
And not Bread, the 70s band.
The symbolism of bread in Christianity goes deep, mostly in representing the body of Christ. And Catholics believe that the Eucharist actually is the body and blood of Christ, not just a representation. Along with the meaning of the hands, I can't do this. Along with the meaning of the
Not the
hands,
balls.
excuse me, it must be the balls. Along I'm dying. I'm sorry, I'm having a stroke. Along with the meaning of the hands blessing the food, our friend Giovanni found a connection between the hands and the bread. And the connection was horizontal. He drew 5 horizontal lines across a copy of the painting. By the way, I'll explain this tablet in a future episode. It's called the Wacom. It's called the Wacom Cintiq, and I love it. I absolutely freaking love it. And as you can see, the hands and bread can become musical notes.
Wait for it. This is sick.
Now, just like Giovanni did, let's play it.
That's not very good. Nothing personal.
It's true, it doesn't sound like much. Even on a traditional pipe organ, the instrument used for religious music in Leonardo's time.
That is definitely not up to Leonardo's standards.
Definitely not. We have to remember that Da Vinci was a musician on top of all that other stuff he was doing.
Whoa.
And Giovanni was about to give up on his theory until he made the key decision, no pun intended, to get inside the artist's head.
That's what you gotta do.
That's when he remembered that Leonardo had a unique and very unusual writing style.
You think?
You see, especially in his notebooks, Leonardo wrote backwards, from right to left. And the notes he took have to be read with a mirror.
Crazy.
Let's go down that rabbit hole a little bit. So it's pretty well known that Leonardo wrote backwards sometimes. And it's fairly well known that he was left-handed.
Yep. Left-handed.
But no one knows exactly why Leonardo wrote backwards. One theory is that it was tough being left-handed back in the time of the quill. You know, that whole feather pen inkwell thing. There was a lot of smudging going on. And writing backwards would prevent the ink from smudging the page. Which brings us to another theory, that he was trying to keep his hands clean. And yet another theory is that he was worried about the possibility of others stealing his ideas. That's kind of a weird theory, actually, in my opinion. Anyone could get hold of a mirror to read them. It's that easy. But then again, I haven't researched the availability of mirrors in the 1400s. Anyway, back to the Last Supper. Now and then, Leonardo would also write musical riddles in his notebooks, and they have to be read from right to left as well. Giovanni decided to do that with the hands and the bread melody he found. He flipped it around. He wrote out the new notes and played the bread music backwards. And for all you music theory nerds like me out there, here's another twist. For all you non-music theory nerds, feel free to skip ahead. Okay, a disclaimer for you all. I haven't read Giovanni's book in its entirety. I've only read summaries and reviews. The book is only published in Italian, not in English yet. So I have no idea if he explores what I've discovered, but I think I've found a whole nother thing that's pretty fascinating. And I actually discovered it working on this very video. So I see another clue in the bread. If you know about the writing of rhythms, you know that adding a dot after a note lengthens that note by half of the value. For example, in 3/4 time, a half note equals 2 beats. When you add a dot after the half note, it becomes equal to 3 beats. It's the same as a half note tied to a 1-beat quarter note. Stay with me, fellow music theory nerds. It's worth it. Check this out. If you're like me, once you see how evenly these large pieces of bread are placed on the table, it's hard to unsee them. I mean, someone at this table has serious OCD. Look how these loaves of bread occupy the exact same space, perfectly straight across. That's just how an ostinato bass part, or what's called a ground bass, or a bass pedal note, looks when it's written on a page. Here's something I don't know yet about Giovanni's research. But as I said, he probably does cover it. He knows his stuff. So far, there's no mention of the smaller pieces of bread. These pieces of snack-sized bread would be almost like the size of a Dunkin' Donuts munchkin, you know, like a donut hole. I've found that these smaller pieces can serve as the dots on the larger notes, adding value or length to the larger pieces of bread that serve as the notes. So this large piece of bread, in other words, this large note right here, becomes longer once this small piece of bread, or this dot, is added onto it.
Whoa.
Now, just my opinion, but that is pretty spectacular. Okay, let's return to the normal, non-music theory nerd people. We're back. So, since Leonardo sometimes wrote backwards, Giovanni decided to do that with the hands and bread melody he found. He flipped it around. He wrote out the new notes and played the bread music backwards. Here we go. Hang on to your breadstick.
That sounds more like a church song.
It's a perfect fit for the scene and, quite frankly, amazing. Okay, I have to jump in here with another quick comment about this music. You might say, Lenny, why drop in here with another comment? And I would say to that, why does anybody do anything? But before we do that, okay, it's time for this episode's giveaway. And it's not that boat. I'm not Mr. Beast. At some point in this episode, a smiley face appeared. Write me an email and tell me where it's located. The first 10 people who do so, I will ship to you this 10x8 signed and numbered print of mine. This print is titled Escape, and it's one of my best sellers. This is limited only to the first 10 people that write to me and tell me the location of the smiley face in this video. Okay, quick comment about this music. Whatever style of music you're into, it's most likely it's in a certain key. The key of C, the key of D, the key of E, and so on. But before the actual naming of the keys came along, music writing was based only on the musical scale. You know, that do-re-mi thing. A mode is the same thing as a scale. Modal compositions dominated European music for centuries, and during Leonardo's lifetime during the 1400s. And there are certain modes or scales to this day that are considered church modes. The Phrygian mode is a very common compositional foundation for church music, and specifically for masses and requiems. A requiem is defined by the church as a mass or a solemn piece of music for the repose of the souls of the dead. And incredibly, this piece of music is written in the Phrygian mode. The Last Supper takes place on the eve of the crucifixion, and this definitely sounds like a requiem. For someone like me, this is such a cool discovery. I'm going to eventually take this short piece of music and orchestrate it for full orchestra. And when I do, I'll put it up here as a bonus episode. In art, there's always a risk of seeing and interpreting something that's not there. But Da Vinci's art is the rare exception. A true genius in world history, Accidents or random elements in any of Da Vinci's works are very unlikely, to say the least.
Leonardo has left centuries of surprises.
All right, listen, thank you for watching Bread Music.
And not Bread, the 70s band.
In our next episode, we have yet another iconic figure in history, in a completely different style of art, associated with a completely different style and source of music. I'll give you a hint. His name's not Leonardo. His name's not Jesus. His name is Chuck. By the way, I don't know if you can hear in the background, someone is sleeping through this. I'll show you what's going on. You're hearing some snoring. That's how excited she is about that next episode. Thanks for watching Planet-Lennie. Music, art, stories. Now, what's your story? Let everyone know in the comments, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. We appreciate it.